$2,400 if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits, with a 20% increase lifetime and an annual step up every year. Big developments on your second stimulus package and second stimulus check, as Mitch McConnell, Steve Mnuchin, and Mark Meadows say that a stimulus deal is coming, and it's coming during the holidays. What will be included? Will a stimulus check be included? Will hazard pay? Will FPUC? Will all the things that you've been wondering about be included? And how soon would $2,400 for SSI be rolling out as well? Meantime, viewers of this channel continue to get big money. This is money right now, $5,000, $15,000, $20,000 from extended benefits, escalated benefits for UI, EIDL, and CARES Act 1 grants. Thousands of dollars for rent, utilities, food. You all qualify, and viewers continue to push and get that money. And even on a Thanksgiving evening, as we sit here tonight, viewers are getting ready with applications online tonight to get those applications in and get them approved tomorrow. Thousands of dollars are being handed out by the minute. Meantime, how soon could you get more money in your bank account? Money right now? Money right after? It's a great evening. Thank you for joining me for Thanksgiving evening, and this is Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Evenings LALATE. How are you? Thank you for joining me on a special broadcast this Thanksgiving Eve. And boy, there's so much developing across the board. And tomorrow, Wall Street will react to the issue of more people unemployed, new lockdowns announced nationwide in the last few hours, and no stimulus. No stimulus and escalated benefits, normal unemployment benefits, and other benefits expiring. But I'm getting you money right now, so please subscribe to this channel. I'm fighting tooth and nail to get you money right now, not money 5 days from now, not money 5 weeks from now, not money 5 years from now. And I've been working around the clock and will continue to work around the clock until you get this money, which won't be there much longer. It will be there to about middle December. So make sure you subscribe to me because I'm going taped, I'm going live, and I'm getting thousands of dollars for viewers. $250,000 being gotten for viewers. This is on top of the $5 to $25 million I got viewers back in May to June for EIDL. Now I'm back doing it again because this is what I do best. And you should get this money because it was given to the states and cities for you. So please subscribe. Also, like this video. It really helps in the algorithm for the rankings of the video, especially a strange day and today in which it's ranking 2-week-old stories ahead of everything else. In this video, I have so much to go over. First, I'll go over stimulus check. What's in the stimulus package? What is Mitch and Steve doing next week? How about that $500 of CARES Act 1? That's at SBA. How about executive order? What's going on with that? Then the $2,400 for SSI. How soon would that go out? How much is the stimulus check? Does that replace the SSI? Then I'll be going to all the other things that you're wondering about. Hazard pay. When would that roll out? How is that going to roll out? What's going on with the president? And is he going to do executive order? And if he doesn't, how would this be teed up? Does he want stimulus to go out? Meantime, I'll be focusing on how to get you money right now. Escalated benefits, CARES Act 1 money, and EIDL. Before this video, I went live in a special stream in stimulus, and in that video, I went over EIDL. I'll drop it in the links above. After this video, I'm going live again on Purple Power Live. I'll drop that in the links above, and that will focus on escalated benefits, CARES Act 1, and also on stimulus. So join me on that broadcast coming right after this. And of course, at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for Eastern Standard Time for early mornings LA. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that Wall Street says stimulus needs to go out and thinks that waiting around any longer is not fruitful, and would absolutely hurt the economy. What's important to understand is that lockdowns will be announced nationwide, that unemployment, UI, PUA, FPUC, rent eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, all these things are expiring in just a few weeks. And suddenly people see that businesses shut down, people are unemployed, and everything is about to close or shut down, and there's no money for anything. And this is why Wall Street says, no, 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 you can't do this. And Wall Street's saying, do Mitch's deal. Do Mitch's deal, and it's really quite surprising. No one would have thought 6 months ago we would have bit the situation, but that's what Wall Street's saying, because you need stimulus checks, you need extension of unemployment benefits, and you need some PPP for some small businesses, and that can be done with Mitch's deal and bill. And that's why Wall Street's saying, do it. Let's go over what would be included. Stimulus checks, yes. How big? Hard to say. Steve Mnuchin is in the negotiations with Mitch, with Mark, and Steve Mnuchin's last offer was about over a $2,000 check. The question is whether Steve Mnuchin's pulling back, because he was at 1.9. He's not at 1.9 anymore. He's at $500 million. So is it $2,000 stimulus check? It still could be. There's enough money in there to do it. Next, how about escalated benefits? Yes. Retroactive? Someone asked me that just minutes ago on the live recording. How retroactive do I think it's going to be? These people are not good on doing retroactive. They just seem to forget that you've been not gotten things for weeks. On purpose, they seem, intentional forgetfulness. So I don't have a lot of faith that they'll do FPUC retroactive to July. Maybe retroactive for a few weeks is how these people think. But they will extend UI, they would extend PUA, and they would extend your weeks of unemployment benefits, because no one can go on unemployment and have no unemployment around. That doesn't make sense. Another round of PPP, yes, and some EIDL, yes. What's really good news about this is Wall Street saying, hey, you know what? That thing that Nancy's still talking about, that $2.2 trillion thing, that is saying that she wants $500 billion, nearly almost, it's almost 30% of what she wants to give to Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo for the state of New York and the state of California to bail out their states for 3 years, based upon the presumption that they cannot make budgeting. Wall Street's saying that's not true. New York and California are making a fortune because of other businesses that are doing very well. Certain industries are doing very well during this pandemic. And so the notion that state California and New York are not making budget because other businesses shut down is a fake narrative, because other industries that are open and are essential are actually making more money than when they would normally make. And so the states are not hurting as much as the Democrats want you to believe. So Wall Street is saying, and even if they are, we just don't see it as an emergency issue. What we do see as an emergency issue is the individuals and their unemployment. And that's why we talk about stimulus checks, unemployment assistance, and PPP. What's important to understand is that viewers then ask me, well, how about the $2,400 for SSI and SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits? Where would that be? And does that replace the stimulus check? First, let me make this very clear. The $2,400 for SSI is a stimulus check just for the viewers on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, in addition to everyone else's stimulus check. So this means you would get both. I'm going to say it again. You would get both a third time. So you would get a stimulus check like everyone else does. And you would also get this. The reason why is they think you've been left behind on other stuff, so they want to get you caught up. Next, you would get a 20% increase lifetime, up to a 20% increase lifetime on your benefits. And third, you would get a step up annually based upon a new benchmark other than COLA. So then the question I'm getting from viewers is when and how. First of all, the how is $200 a month, every month from the point of passage all the way up to December 31st of next year. Upwards of $2,400 or $4,000, depending on who's calculating it, Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden. And then viewers ask, well, when would it start? That's hard to say, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because a lot of these things are getting sort of mushy now because we have multiple people talking about multiple things on the same side at the same time. What's different now is that Mitch McConnell is really the only voice now, the Republicans, and Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows are behind him and sort of mirroring and repeating what he says. But on the Democrat side, we have Nancy Pelosi's version of stuff. Then we have Joe Biden's version of stuff. And soon we're going to have Janet Yellen's version of stuff. She's the new Treasury Secretary. And Joe Biden wants you to have this thing for Social Security, but Nancy Pelosi has made no mention of it. It's as though it doesn't even exist. And the Republicans want you to have the same sort of thing as well, because they've been talking about this for a year in their own standalone bills. So where is this going to formulate? I believe it's going to be a separate bill, separate from the second stimulus package. And so we will be tracking where this bill will land as a standalone bill for veterans and Social Security benefits. It's not a stimulus per se bill, because it involves all these other things that have nothing to do with stimulus, like the 20% increase and the step up. So that's actually more positive, because you don't want to get muddied in all this stimulus negotiations. Then what's going on with hazard pay? Will hazard pay float into anything between now and the holidays? I just don't see anything but a sort of mediocre hazard pay. You know, a couple $1,000s for essential workers. I don't see anything like $10,000 hazard pay happening anytime between the holidays, because it's too much money. That's a thing that's just going to go, people are going to go to the mat and argue, and it's go on for weeks. But what I need you to understand is that hazard pay takes a while to fund. You have to fund it, you have to set up the agency, you have to apply, someone has to apply for it, the money has to be sent out. That's just weeks and weeks and weeks of stuff. That's nothing that would ever show a dollar in your pocket during the holiday season. So I want to be very frank with you about that. So in recap, if rational congressmen act rationally in the next few days, then you should see a stimulus check, FPUC, unemployment benefits, and some PPP, and a little bit of hazard pay in the next few weeks. That's if they act rationally. If they act completely irrationally, then hard to say what's going to happen. That's my view of the situation. Rational people should get this done because, one, the economy is going to implode if you don't. Two, if you don't do this, it's going to be so much harder to catch up. Three, the situation is going to get very bad very quickly, in a way that we haven't even seen it exponentially grow. There's one thing when people are unemployed in July. It's another thing when they're unemployed and other people are on lockdown and they're unemployed and no one's getting any money. That's just all sort of compounding itself. So now the really good news, and that's why I'm still focused with you and you're focused with me, and this is why the subscribers are adding so quickly on a given day. You know, we're 330,000 subscribers today, or 333 by the end of the night, is because I'm finding to get you money right now. This is money right now. You qualify for it. It is yours. You need to go get it. It's available for you. It is in your state. It is yours. And I think at this point, I've gotten everyone over the learning curve of understanding it's yours, it's free, it's available. So I don't think I have to repeat that anymore. Now let's go over the nuance of how to get it. This is the night after, this is Thanksgiving Eve, you know, or this is the evening of Thanksgiving. So tomorrow, most city, county, and state offices are open. So let's go back to the three methods. Now we can talk about telephone, because their offices' telephone numbers will be open tomorrow. You need to call your city hall. You need to call your county hall. You need to call your state housing authority. You need to call your utilities company. And this is what you're looking for. You're looking essentially for COVID grants, but the word grants confuses people. So ultimately what you should generally use is rental assistance because of COVID. I'm having problems making my rent because of COVID. Rental assistance. Then the next word is utility grants or utility assistance or utility help. I'm having problems making my utility bill. Then after that is food assistance or food help, or something along the lines because of COVID. And finally, the last one's medicine. What's important to understand is that every state was given this money, and every state is sending out this money. And some states are just announcing it in the last 24, 48 hours. New Mexico announced this enormous thing in the last few hours, I think it was, sending out stimulus checks, sending out rent aid, sending out it's just money everywhere. And it's like paradise. It's just like suddenly all this money in New Mexico is being sent out everywhere left and right, which is what you would have thought other states would do. Well, the important thing is that I've been telling you this is going to happen. New Mexico had all this money sitting around, and they said, you know what? We just have a few weeks left. we got to spend this money. Look at the clock. Did you look at your watch? It's just a few weeks away from here. And so they literally said, you know what? Just start sending out the money. And that's what they did. San Diego announced just a few days ago, I think it was Tuesday, that they're opening a rent assistance program. Just now. A major city, San Diego. So these things are just opening by the minute. Now, ultimately, some places they were open in August and are now closed. Like, for example, LA City had a rent program in August. I detailed this channel. It's closed, but you can go get rent utilities. You can go get, not rent utilities. You can go get utilities in LA. You can go get food in LA. So start with rent, then move to utilities, and then move to food. Rent, utilities, and then food. When you call people up and you get the wrong number or the person doesn't know what you're talking about, try another number. You have to push. Ultimately, you have to push. Next, the websites. All the websites are available for you. City's website, county's website, state housing authority's website, utilities website, all have the information on them as well. Go to them as well. Next, escalate benefits. Please do escalate benefits. If you're on unemployment, please do it. And if you've not gone on unemployment, please go on unemployment if you qualify. I had a viewer in the chat right before this. It was a great question. And I'm going to do that right now. His or her question. I am a Postmates driver, and my hours were reduced dramatically because of the pandemic, but I never went on anything. Do I qualify for anything? Absolutely. So if you're an independent contractor, sole practitioner, or gig work or side hustle, Uber, Lyft, or anything like that, and you were doing this many amount of hours of work before the pandemic hit, and because of the pandemic, your hours are reduced to this, that is a eligibility criterion accepted by Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, PUA. It says your number of hours has been reduced by the pandemic, and you qualify. Now, of course, if you make income during any of the weeks that you are on PUA, you just declare it. So I made $80, I made $90, and they'll just reduce it, but you still get the benefits. And so the viewer never realized that, never understood that eligibility criterion, because a lot of people are falsely told or don't know that you have to be completely without any hours of any work. That's not how PUA works for independent contractors, solo gig workers. You just have to have your hours reduced because of the pandemic. So then the next step would be, well, what date did this start? And this video, I've made 1,000 videos on this channel of. If your start date is March, because that was the date at which the first lockdown was issued, and that's when your hours started being reduced, then that's your date of impact. You list March, you do not list today in November. And then suddenly, guess what? You have 30-something weeks of unemployment claims to go through. And yeah, you still have to declare your income in each of those weeks that will reduce your total benefits, but guess what? You'll get FPUC from March and July, $600 a week on top of that PUA each week. That's how you get tens of thousands of dollars. Next, that person also qualifies for EIDL. EIDL is also for independent contractors, sole practitioners, and gig workers. So you need to understand that EIDL is sort of one and the same. You need to make sure you do EIDL and PUA. Finally, the reason why I do bringing up PUA is escalate benefits. So if the state starts you at, $100 a week, but you made, $30,000 last year, you also have to do escalate benefits. And that's why I covered a lot of videos as well. I'll be covering more on Purple Power Live coming up right after this video. So if you have questions or comments to today's video, drop them in the comments below, and I might feature them tomorrow. So morning, join me on Purple Power Live coming up next. And then join me tomorrow morning on Early Mornings LALATE at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay LA for more.